The year was 2019, which is crazy that that was 6 years ago. But I was in the second year of my undergraduate and I was attending a hackathon where I see one of my friends, or more like classmates, making an app. Well, that is what it seemed like to me at that point. And I reached out to them and I was like, hey, are you making an app? And I was curious because before this, although I was interested in making apps and websites, because that's what was, because I don't know, everybody wants to make apps. There were so many ideas in my head even now that I just want to make apps for. I think that's like, apps is the most consumer facing part of technology that a person interacts with, not the back-end service side, all that back-end stuff, you know. And I asked him, like, are you making an app? And he's like, yeah. And he just seemed to be drawing rectangles. And I asked him, so is that how you make the app? And he's like, no, dude, this is just designing. So I put stuff on the screen, which helps me make decisions later on how the layout and the structure of the app should be like. And I was kind of sad because he just seemed to be drawing rectangles and typing text in them to make buttons. And I thought, oh, that's how you make buttons. And if that was true, that would have been so much easier. My life would have been so different, but that wasn't. It was just Adobe XD. That's a blast from the past. But yeah, he was working on Adobe XD, and I just thought, well, if this is how you design the app, making it would be simple too. Well, if I had spent some time learning how to code, not just doing the pattern making courses from Python in my class, then I would have maybe able to make an app today, but I can't. And hence, today I'm going to show you what AI vibe-coded slop I made by having access to AI. Also, you can take this entire video as being an excuse for me to not having to learn how to code, and you won't be wrong. I understand how important that process is, but my specialty is not learning how to code. It's learning how the things work. I like to think so. And I'd like to just do that part. And again, you can call this part lazy, but this is my video. You can make your own video to call me lazy. But anyway, here's the vibe-coded apps that I made. One of the first things I actually made was a Figma plugin, because of course I'm on Figma 8 to 10 hours a day, something. And even if I'm not using it, it's just always open. And there are certain things that I think should be in Figma that aren't in Figma, but the plugin that I made was actually not my own annoyance or my own request from myself. It was actually one of my coworkers. And my colleague works mostly out of Illustrator and Photoshop. But if there's assets for presentations or websites or just for delivering it to the client, it's just easier if we put everything into a single Figma file. What they had to do is save it to their computer, paste it into Figma, or if they're on a different device, or if it was from someone else, it would be in a Google Drive, or if it were assets from the client, they would be in a Google Drive and they'd have to download a zipped file because that's how Google Drive likes to do it, then unzip it, then copy paste it into Figma. That's a lot of time wasted if done regularly on a daily basis. So the request was a Figma plugin that just connects to your Google Drive, and you can instantly import from Google Drive if it's an image, SVG, or any kind of graphic. So that is what I made. It's called Fig Drive, if I can find it. There you go. Okay. So I did publish this plugin onto the Figma plugin store so that my colleagues can just access it, but I really hope nobody else uses this because there's like a limit to the number of people that can use this because I'm not paying for any serverless backend or something. I just don't want to care about that. I really do not want to build that. There's no place where your data is being stored or something. This sign in with Google directly hits a Google API, and Google lets a limited number of people use this service on my account for like some time and limited number of people. So anyways, I don't want to deal with that. So hey, I'm not going to tell you. So hey, I'm not going to tell you what the limit is. If you need it, great, use it. I don't care. If you can't use it, then it's probably just filled up, and I'm not going to increase the limit, or I'm not going to work on this. This is not something I'm really passionate about. It's just a tool that I needed, my colleagues needed, and they can use it. I can use it. I'm happy with this. Okay, yeah, let me actually zoom in. Otherwise, I don't think you guys can see what's going on. But yeah, this is the plugin. And all you have to do is click on sign in with Google, and that'll open a basic like this choose your Google account stuff. I'm not going to show you my accounts. And once you do choose your Google account, it'll show you this screen because I haven't verified, like I haven't put in my app to be verified by Google because again, this is something I wanted for internal use. But anyways, if you could click on advanced and then you just click on, and then it'll show you that my Google account wants to access like your read-only permissions. But again, I literally, there's no way that I can store it. But yeah, once you do that, it'll show you an access token. This basically, it gives me a read-only access to only our image files, by the way. So like PNG, JPG, SVGs, and GIFs. I think that's the only ones that I included. So you copy the token, you go back here, you paste the token in, and you press connect, and it'll show you all your files. So one fun thing, while making a Figma plugin, at least this is what I had, this is what my experience was. I was not able to, like, you know how you make a, like let's say React project, and there's an assets file where you can put all your images and stuff. Figma doesn't let you do that. Like for a plugin, you cannot save assets to it. Like you cannot save images to it. What you have to do is, there's a tag or a way, I don't remember it really. What it does is like, it takes the image, creates it into a string of 64-bit something, hex code or something. Basically you're remaking the entire image in code, and hence the code is bigger, but you don't have to store the image as a separate file. That's at least from what I remember and what I understood. I'll show you what happened in the cursor code, but basically when I gave the PNG to like put it as folder icons, it said, oh, Figma doesn't allow that. And then cursor automatically just made this SVG with linear gradients, and that was insane. My mind was blown at that point. But yeah, there's a few things that you can do. So yeah, so if you hover on something and just click on import, it'll import whatever file you selected. It can be PNG, it can be an SVG, and it's a true SVG. You can edit everything. And same for anything else. You can also select multiple ones. And once you do that, you can click on import all three. There's like a sticky button that pops up from the bottom. It shows deselect all or import all, and then how many you have selected. So you can do that. You can deselect all of them. You can go into a folder, right? You can select inside of a folder. There's this is something I kind of proud of, like how the navigation works. I mean, every app uses this, but this breadcrumb navigation, so I can just go back. So you can see that it retains the selection through the folders, through navigating the folders. I can select them from outside, and then I can just click on import all, and it'll import them from within the folder as well. Then what else? I mean, you can see a search bar on top, so I can just do vibecon, press enter, and then it'll show me all the search results from within all the folders. And then you can like cancel out, and it'll go back to the home folder, or I think any folder. Let me see. So you can search, you can select from within the search, you can go back from search, and yes, whatever the last folder was, and then you can click on selecting more, and then you can click on import all, and it just I'm so mind blown that this actually works. I can't explain how like insane this is to me that I kind of made this happen. Like even if I did not, so I don't know how to feel about this yet. Like, should I feel proud that I made this, or should I feel like kind of like sad that, hey, I could have just learned how to code this and make it? So I'm not really sure how to feel about this yet. It's just something that's incredible, and it wouldn't be possible in the amount of time that I did it in before, but now it is. And yeah, I just don't know how to feel about that. But yeah, this is insane, and you can just log out. And also another thing, since I'm not storing any kind of tokens, any kind of backend, there is no like I don't know anything about you if you use this. So like it'll show you this warning on the login page. But if I log out, you can see here, I don't know if you can see, but basically it says your token is stored locally and never shared. Token expires after 1 hour. So if I'm logged in and like it's been an hour, it'll automatically log you out. And it'll stop rendering the thumbnails for the images, and you just gotta log out and log in quickly again. And I think I can go back, copy the token, go back in here and paste it because it's not been an hour and it'll still work. So if I click on log out by mistakenly, I can just use the previous token that I generated. Dude, yeah, this is just insane to me that this works. Like, there's so many little things. Like, I had the import button show at all the times below everything, and it just looked a little too redundant because I would imagine that people would use it for bulk imports and stuff. And so, like, clicking this and then showing import on all of them all the time did not make sense. So I made it appear on hover. So that was a UX decision that I took. And then the selected states, showing the import all button all the time on the bottom as a like a absolute positioned button. And then how the navigation through the folders would work. And this, like, this was such a fun thing to do. Because if I'm just designing, I would never think I can only get to this point once I start, like, it starts the development. Once the developer is like, okay, so how do you want the navigation to work? And then I have to tell them like, oh, this is how it should work. And then I have to go and click around and feel how it like actually works. And now I can just do it myself, and I can just give it to the developer and be like, hey, this is how it should work. And like, this is just an incredible feeling. And to really quickly just go through the code. So this is all the code there is. Basically, index.html is the main file where you make the plugin. And sorry, index.html is actually for something else. That's not, I'm completely wrong. I did not learn anything. Sorry. UI.html is actually how your plugin will look. So this is where all the clicking and the looking happens. And then there's the backend side of things, the code.ts, where you set things on what should happen when you click stuff. Then I just made a random file for storing things for my convenience, but this does not get uploaded to Figma plugin store. Then this is the page that I made for when you access the token. So this page that you see, this page is actually this index.html, which lives under another folder called FigDrive auth. And you can see this is a simple HTML file with the script and the CSS all in line. And this page is hosted on GitHub Pages. So you just go to my account's GitHub page where this is hosted. So I did need to host it somewhere, and the most easiest and the freest option was GitHub Pages. So I just chose that. So yeah, that is pretty much it. And if you want to see how so if you really quickly want to see what the prompts look like. So I am making a Figma plugin and it is done, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this is just adding the icons. I don't know where I can see the previous ones. Can I see? Okay. Sadly, I don't think. But anyways, this is mostly talking like fix now on auth page, blah, blah, blah. I just tag things and it's just like literally just tell it what to do. And sometimes when it doesn't like kind of get it properly done, I paste in the errors or like put in a little bit of developer lingo in there. Like I actually tell it like, hey, this div's not working, or you might want to change the hover state. I like basically if it's not giving you the best results, I usually just go and like really just learn what is wrong and then tell it what is wrong and how to fix it, and it just fixes it for you. So I am not stuck making syntax errors. So I learned the thing, I just make it right the thing sometimes. And I initially whenever I start a project, I always use the plan mode, sorry. So it basically starts planning everything step by step. You can go back to the plan.md or something that will create, and then you can go and change things and make sure that everything's in the correct order. And only after that will you start building, so there's less errors. So yeah, that's that's how I built this one. Let's go and now let's go and look at some other projects that I made. So this one is actually not hosted anywhere. This is something that I just wanted for myself and a visual effect that I was trying to make. Again, I wanted it in an SVG format, so I can just simply paste it into Figma and then make changes there. Again, almost on the lines of a Figma plugin, not really that different, but let's see how this works. So let me npm run dev. Okay, so npm run dev is basically the command which starts a local host, which is like your local intranet of things, and you can go to a page inside that intranet, and that page is localhost 3000. I can't imagine how mad a real developer would be getting watching this shit. Like, they're like, what are you saying? Anyways, this is my video, not yours. So, but you can do leave your thoughts in the comments. That'll get me some engagement. So thanks for that. But yeah, what this app essentially does is, all I wanted was it to generate a grid. So the grid could be grid lines or dot grid, and I can just add as many as I want. Like, this doesn't even need to be a tab. This could be a drop down, and I can just keep adding a bunch of effects, like a dithering effect or whatever, you know? Then I should be able to select colors. So these colors can probably depend on what kind of pattern it is. So if it's a more complex pattern than a foreground and a background, so these can have multiple ones, like maybe background, midground, and pattern, or like foreground or something like that. But basically I can change the colors just to see how it looks. I mean, I can do that once I get it out in Figma as well, but let's say there's the kind of pattern we want. Now, there are other controls for the pattern, which is spacing or line width. So let's say I'm choosing to change spacing. It kind of feels like it's zooming in and out, but that's what, I don't know. I guess that's how spacing would work. But yeah, let's say this is what I like. Then I can change the line width. So these are just pixel values. Like, it just stops at 5 pixel because I would not want it more than that. So let's say 1.5 is fine. Then here's the main thing, the effects. So how this effect works is I click on the page, right? It drops in a pointer, right? And I can move it. I can click and drag on it. I can keep moving it wherever I want. Let's say I want it in the middle. Now it's on the bloat effect, right? So this is number of effect points. The effect point is, there's only 1 point, and it's on bloat. I can increase the radius. So what it does is it bulges up the pattern wherever it is placed. So I can change, I can just keep moving this around, and this is really satisfying because it's super fast. Like, sometimes when I use these kind of services on the internet, they feel a little slow or like laggy or something, but this is like super smooth. And like, I'm just amazed at how good this was. I think I made this on the day that Gemini 3 Pro was released, and I think it took me like 2 or 3 prompts to get the first version working, and it was so quick. So yeah, this, and then I can increase the strength, so how much bulge I want. And oh my god, this is so smooth. And I was looking for something like this on the internet and I could not find it, and it is amazing how much faster it was to just build this than find something reliable. Because if I'm building this, I know it's reliable. It is made for my exact use case, and I can change anything I want on this. That's bloat. Then there's another effect called pinch that can increase the strength, and it kind of like starts looping on top of itself. I would not want it to happen, but yeah, I can reduce the radius and increase it, and then like I can keep moving it. I can click one more time on the screen, and it adds another point. I can increase the radius, I can increase the strength, I can move them closer, and it actually it retains both the effects, like they're interacting with each other, and that's so cool. Like that honestly, like, yes, I prompted it to work like this, but I'm just like mind blown that how well it was executed is basically what I'm so surprised at, I guess. But yeah, like, so yeah, that's one of the effects. Then there's also another effect called the cylinder wrap. What this does is basically it takes the grid pattern and it folds it. Imagine around a cylindrical bar, like it just wraps around it, like not completely wraps, it just folds it in half, and then like the endpoints just keep going back. It's an infinite sheet which gets folded and it's like a straight line to the back. I can move the horizon line, so it can be at the top, it can be at the bottom. I can change the position. I guess this doesn't do much, but basically, do I want a line in the middle or a gap in the middle? I think that's the only thing that it changes. Then I can change the radius and how harshly it is bent. So basically how thin it would be. And yeah, these are the two really cool. So yeah, these are the two really cool effects that I ended up making. So you see, it also works with the dots. Dude, this is so cool. I just, oh, like how quick. The most insane part is how quickly this was done. This took like hour and a half max. It's crazy. And these are the prompts. So let's see. Oh, so this has the first prompt because I didn't give so many prompts. But yeah, I want to create a site where I can choose a pattern like grid and blah blah blah. So there's like you can pause and read through this if you want. But this is like this shows Opus, but I use Gemini 3 Pro, and this is the entire. Since I've been prompting so much, I kind of have developed a feeling of where it fails. So I try to explain those parts better, and it just changes with every model, I feel, and it's just better to be more explicit, and I just try to be just more explicit in my prompts, and then it asked me some clarifying questions about how it should, like, certain things should work. And then I can open this view plan, and this is the plan.md that I was talking about. So it just shows you how it's planning to do things, and then it started creating everything. And yeah, also before I end it, I can click on export SVG and see what happens. Let me bring back the Figma page. Let me close this. I can just drop the SVG, and this is not an image. This is a real SVG. I can do whatever I want with this. All of these are separate SVG elements. This is exactly what I needed, and it turned out so good. Like, this is done so well. Like, dude. Like, if I had something like this for like 2.5 years or whatever, I would have saved so much time because I could just build the tools I need, and that's crazy. But yeah, and just the export SVG thing was the most important part because I wanted to be able to edit the colors and stuff later, and just it being able to do that is the best part about this. All right, for the last of my show and tell, it's actually a client project. So I tried to kind of make it discreet as much as possible, but basically, instead of just making a Figma design and then sending it to my developer and like removing the assets and stuff, and basically just leaving for him to figure it out and ask me whatever he needs, like, or going through the traditional handoff procedure, this was just so much easier. What I did was I created a Next.js project, and and it's intentionally that small so that it's harder to read stuff. But basically, all these little components where you see these, I'm not sure if you can see that, but basically there's like a light beam flying around, this rotating stuff, and like this effect, like all these certain effects. There's like a sparkles in the background and this moving around. All this stuff as actually, like, I didn't really design it in Figma. Like, I did the basic design in Figma or the layout in Figma, but then I had so much more freedom to just go around and fish for components in component libraries from like Shatsian or magic UI and stuff like that, right? And I could use it wherever I wanted and actually show the client and the developer how it should actually look and work. I saw this effect, I don't know, I think in Dia's website on the footer. But basically, Dia's footer had this kind of an effect. Like if you scroll past the footer, it shows this gradient kind of going up and then it goes back down. So I thought, oh, I can probably make use of something like this over here. So the entire theme is like a kind of sunset, dawn-ish kind of theme. And as I scroll down, this entire box kind of fills up with that color and expands certain things, right? Like this logo bar. It's black because that's more visible on this layout. But then as I scroll, it makes more sense to make it white. And I wouldn't think about this if I wouldn't actually prototype it. And I'd only think about this once the developer has a version up and running, and then I have to go and tell them, oh, can you make this white when it's scrolling up? Which is kind of, I don't know. I don't know if I'm annoying to developers or not. I just feel like I am. So I don't like, I have to like kind of feel bad while pushing them to do these things, these little changes, which I truly feel a developer should not be doing this. Like they have so much more to take care of, like accessibility and responsiveness and stuff like that. And if I can just do this, I would do it, right? And I can now. So I did it for them. And now these little things are taken care of. And then there's this entire interaction of these posts flying around and little sparkles in the background. There's a color transition. As you scroll down, there's a scroll animation of these cards falling into place. Then you have some normal sections, and then like little things like as I scroll down, this kind of light beam shoots up these cards. And again, something which I can just make this light beam be in the card, but little touches like this that I scroll down and it like comes up from the bottom is just so much more satisfying. And I can just spend my time doing this stuff, you know? And yeah, like over here, same thing, right? And I scroll down, this stuff comes in from the bottom. So this is a project I feel where I just kind of flexed a lot, because if I come down, this section is Rive animation. And I tried doing it in CSS and Java, but it just didn't, JavaScript, but it didn't work. So I just decided to stop that and go do it in a animation platform like Rive. And then I brought that in, went through Rive's documentation on how it would work with React and put it in. And it was really easy though, right? I just had to install some Rive libraries and it was super easy. Like I just come down and I set it to start from the beginning every time I move off of this section. And all these sections are different components, and I can just work on a single component without making it affect anything else. And like, I love this workflow that I've developed for myself, and I could just put simple layouts on a page in Figma and then quickly move in, start actually making things and feeling how the entire scroll through of a website or a landing page would feel like, or even for products, you know, like when I do something wrong, should there be a little animation that tells me I did something wrong? Does it feel right? I can actually stop and think and spend so much more time, because it's not only my time being wasted for stuff like this, right? And this is what my time is supposed to be used for. So I feel much better spending time on stuff like this, because otherwise I'd be like, oh, developer, let's not do that, let's do it like this or that, and that's just not, you know, doesn't feel very I don't know, maybe it's just me, but no. But yeah, that was the last of my show and tell. After going through all that, I realized something, that I just didn't vibe code it. I also took away some parts of it. I now know what React props are and how npm and GitHub works. So I would say I did gain some skills. I could have gained those before too. The main thing that vibe coding or this AI coding craze has brought to me is that it has removed the friction. It has made it easier than ever to bring my ideas that I used to shove into Figma and then hope or like just wait for that time to pass where there is so much friction between me and code. And now that friction is gone because of AI. Honestly, that's true for everyone, right? Anybody can do it and anybody should do it. That's how it gets pushed. You can choose to just keep typing in English and telling things like, oh, change the button's height from 48 pixels to 44, and it'll mess up and make it 46, and it'll only change for one button and not every button. Or you can actually see what the AI is doing, read what it's doing. I know that's really tough nowadays, but if you do give it just a little bit more time, AI actually helps you learn it. A lot of times what I would do is ask the AI to point me where this is changing or this is getting affected, and it would point me to, hey, this is the button component, here's where you would change this certain property of this component. I'm like, okay, thanks. And then I'd ask it, hey, what are the Tailwind classes to change this? And I know what Tailwind classes are, and now it gives me all the classes and I know how they work, so I use them. So yeah, you can just keep using English or use AI to actually learn things and make this offboarding, or the goal always has been removing that layer of thinking an idea and bringing it to reality. It's been there before AI was there. People would find different ways. Either they would just learn how to code, become front-end engineers, or they would make After Effects animations to convey how the entire thing would feel. Now you can do actual coding and not need to put like years to learn how to do certain things properly and have a component that is ready for production, which is incredible in my opinion. But you can all tell me how wrong I am and how much you hate this entire thing in the comment section down below. But I hope that you took something positive out of this video, that it can be used for good, it can be used for learning, it can be used for getting your ideas out into the wild and not just putting your idea in the text box and hoping the AI takes care of the rest of it. Take your idea, be accountable for it from 0 till 100. Take control of every single part of it. Do not just let it make something. That is not the process that I would follow myself or just, recommend someone to follow. This is a great learning opportunity in my opinion. But yeah, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you want to see more like these, do not forget to subscribe. And I'll let you think if this whole video was AI generated or not. See you in the next one.